Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a quick video on how I made my autumn wreath. I know in the UK autumn wreaths are super duper hard to come by unless you go get a florist to make it. I've seen some, I'm not gonna lie, like in excess of £100 to buy. And who has £100 to spend on a wreath? I can think of so much more food and snacks I could buy with £100 than on a wreath. So I decided I was going to DIY my own and make it exactly how I wanted it. It came in under £10 with all of the bits on it, and I mean there's a lot on it. A little bit of it is actually from the Dollar Tree in the US, but there are something similar in Hobbycraft at the moment which you can replace that with, so I'll talk about that later on in the video as well. Earlier this week I also made a few little box frames up for myself, and I did hand lettering on that, and I know you guys like to see my hand lettering, so I filmed the time lapse of me doing that as well, so I'll pop that at the end of the wreath tutorial so you can see me do that. And yeah, I'm just gonna get straight on into how I made the wreath.
So this is the base of the wreath that I use. It's just one from Hobbycraft, and it's one of their 12-inch rattan wreath kind of bases. You find it in like the floristy bit of Hobbycraft. The first thing that I added to the wreath was some of this faux eucalyptus, which I found from TKMAXX, just cutting off little bits as I went. You can find this in so many different places, but I find if you spend that little bit extra, it looks more realistic. This is the best one that I found so far. I did have to pay £10 for 5 huge stalks which had 5 kind of sprigs on each one, but I thought that was kind of reasonable considering it only cost £2 a stem. You can also buy them individually in Hobbycraft. Dunelm do some good ones, I think for £2.50 each, and then actually Poundland do a few with like some purpley bits in, so obviously they work out much cheaper. Anyway, these are the pumpkins that I spoke about from the Dollar Tree, and basically I've just painted them in a chalk paint and then put a little bit of brown acrylic paint on them because they were a really bright orange colour. And what I did was I chopped off these little clips that were on the back and I re-glued them on just so that they was like really flush with the back of the pumpkin, so that I could clip them on and then remove them in the next season and that sort of stuff. So I know I said that these were from the Dollar Tree, and I know obviously we're all mainly based in the UK at the moment, which is crazy because usually I have a primarily US based audience, but for these pumpkins, I would recommend using the glitter pumpkins from Hobbycraft and just painting them up and then sticking a little crocodile clip on the back of those, just like I did with the first one. So I then played around with a few extra bits, the little pumpkins I made from Poundland, and then these pine cones that I gathered up from the woods in my recent vlog, and I just started gluing away. So I used loads of hot glue on the pine cones to make sure that they would really secure down, and then to make sure that they were finally really secure, I just used some of this like clear fishing wire, just wrapped it around a few times, getting inside the little kind of spikes of the pine cone and then tying it off at the back to make sure it wasn't going anywhere. To attach the fabric pumpkins that I made from a Poundland tea towel, if you want the tutorial to that, I will leave it down in the description down below so you can just click through. I just sewed them through like the rattan wreath through the pumpkin and just stitched them to it basically using that same fishing wire. So as you can see here, I'm just putting my needle straight through the pumpkin, straight through the rattan wreath, round again, and just stitching them into place. And the reason that I've done that is so that I could just clip them off when it comes around to Christmas and replace them with something different. I fully attached the pine cones though, because I know pine cones and you know the eucalyptus are kind of multi-seasonal. You can use it for whatever you want. Another thing I glued in place were some of these like cotton balls. Would you call these cotton balls? I don't know. They were from my cotton stems that I got from a florist, and I just glued them into place. For a few of them I cut all like the stems off and then like pumped the hot glue on there to make sure that they would be like a nice close fit to the front, and to be honest that worked out perfectly and they just stuck there. They just stuck really well. So I just ended up doing this all over until I had a nice balance of like cotton and pine cones and pumpkins, and that's basically all I did. For the loop, I just took some of this twine from Hobbycraft, and it was in one of their like mixed kits in the florist section. You get like 4 different twines and then like a plain twine for like £3 I think it is. I actually bought this for a Christmas craft, so I only used a little bit, but I just tied it in a knot and then hot glued it down into place. So hanging up my wreath on my living room door, I am obsessed with the colorways. It matches my living room space really, really well. I'm so glad I bought in the buffalo check to match a few other pieces, and I just think it looks lovely. So onto a few little hand lettering hyperlapses a second, just so that you can see me do this, because I know I'm going to get a lot of questions on it. So I thought I'd just stick it at the end of this video. I made these box frames in the same way that I made my farmhouse coffee sign, which I'll leave a link to in the description. And then I just hand lettered on the text using a Posca pen. It really was as simple as that, but I know I'll get a lot of questions.
So I hope you enjoyed this quick and easy video. I am obsessed with how the wreath has turned out. Honestly, it is my autumn wreath of dreams. Even though it's not very orange, it's not very in your face, it's just a nice kind of autumn, subtle wreath. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed seeing how I made it, as well as seeing me hand letter the little box frames. I think I'm going to be making another autumn wreath, unless I can find one this weekend in HomeSense. Then I may be making a big orange one as well for my hallway. Really want one out there as well, so you never know, you might get another wreath tutorial coming your way soon. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please do give it a thumbs up if you did, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye!